Welcome to Transport Fever. So, this is going to be a new series. I've kind of started again with it all. Just so on this one, so it's going to be more of a time-lapse video and not like my other series where I kind of build it as I go. Just because I kind of wanted to make as many build it as quickly as possible without the constraint of money. So as you probably can see, I've got infinite money. It's in sandbox mode, so I can, if I need to, put down industries and things like that. So I've started building. This is actually the biggest city. I thought it was probably a good place to start. I do quite a bit of building, but dozing to put this station in place, as you can see. I kind of wanted to start off with a big station, with all the tracks kind of going into it. I have seen quite a few maps that other people have designed and done, and they look amazing. I kind of want to try and make something similar. I'm probably not going to make it anywhere as good as the other ones, but I can try. This one I have got mods enabled as well, so I've only got 2 mods enabled at the minute, but if you can think of any mods that I should add to the game, why not leave them in the comments below. The game did get a little bit annoying here, so I didn't have it on pause. I think it's this bit anyway. So as you try and build like I am here, the game actually tries to add in roads for you. So I was kind of fighting some of the roads at some point. I probably should have just paused it and done it that way. So some of these tracks aren't actually going to go anywhere to begin with. They're just going to kind of stay there and for future builds. Kind of didn't want any crossings either, especially in the centre. So they will be going. As we can see. So bridges all the way. Haven't actually figured out yet how to do a decent bridge. So this is kind of how I've got stuck with doing it at the minute. I don't really know how to make a decent crossing either for the roads. So if you got any suggestions, again, why not leave them in the comments? Or if you've got anyone that you know, other YouTubers that have built something with crossings that look good, let me know. I will check them out. So what I'm going to actually do with this first city is actually put a tram around it. Now the trams that most of the trams anyway that I've seen, they kind of go from point to point and they don't really do a circle. So as you'll see when I start building the tram line, I've got 3 main stations. Oh, first we're actually doing a tunnel, so we'll tunnel under this one. I thought it'd make it a bit of variety. Yes, I put 1 tram station at one end, 1 tram station at the other end of the city, and then kind of 1 just outside the station, and link all them 3 together. And instead of going, so the first trip round it goes in order, then it kind of goes round the city a little bit and then back to the first station. One thing I'm quite keen on doing as well is getting some motorways in. So there are some pre-made kind of junctions in the game, but I opted to make my own. I am going to come back and change this later on though, because I didn't actually like it that much. And it's mostly to stop the game complaining at me. I don't like it when you block or remove a kind of road to a factory. So I've never actually built a city either, or had a city that's got giant roads around it, so I thought that's one thing I was going to do. I did make a bit of a mistake around here, which you will see later on. Maybe I should have actually put an island in there as well. So as you come across the bridge, you go to an island instead of having a junction like that, because it is a little bit awkward. I might change that. So this is where the first tram stop's going, opposite the train station. So you'll be able to come straight out off the train and then straight onto a tram. And then the other tram stop, so that's like I say at the end. So what I'm going to do is, if we do buses between the cities, is actually have the buses go to these end ones instead of going into the centre. So you'll be able to get on a bus to the to these end tram stops, and then get on a tram and then go around the city if you need to. I may even, because this is probably going to be the hub city and the biggest city we've got, I might even add the airport on to one of them. So we are working on the biggest map you can have. It's a megalomaniac map, which is extremely hard to say, and it isn't classed as experimental just because it is so big. It makes the game run quite slowly as when you get more and more stuff in it. So you can kind of see there how the trams are going to go round. So this is the bit where I messed up. You probably can't see just yet, but I actually missed a bit of tram line. So it didn't actually go round properly. It took me a second to find out that I'd done that wrong. So there you can see it goes from one end to the other, round that little curb, and then back to the Needham transfer. Didn't want to go too crazy with the size of the tram. That was me just making sure I'm saving the game, so I've made that mistake as well. The game crashes, lose everything. So yeah, I only went for the smallest tram. But I think that for the size of the city at the minute is probably the right size. And as you can see, yeah, kind of trying to figure out why that line wouldn't work, or why wouldn't let me set the trams to go on that line. And as you can see there, I've just missed a bit of tram line, so it wouldn't go round. So once that's done, just set them on. There we go, and that's the tram we've picked. So I've not put any trays or anything like that around the station just yet. That will be my next job, I think, just to make that all look a bit nicer. One thing that I'm not sure, I'm hoping there's a mod or something like that for it, is a walkway. So we can have a walkway across the either the station or something like that. I will probably have to look on the workshop and see if I can find anything. Just putting a couple of rows in here just so the game doesn't do it itself. And there we go. So now we're kind of moving on to the first motorway. What I want it to do is actually probably be a proper motorway. So like bits like this, I don't want it just to join up to the road. I want to either make it go under or over. So we get the terrain tool out and start digging down. Flatten it out was much easier. And then we get a nice bridge across it. So this city that we're moving to here, I did end up, once I've put the train lines in, almost destroying most of it. There we go, make that look a bit nicer instead of in that weird step. Just because it's not the biggest city or town, so to get a large train station in it, I ended up destroying quite a chunk of it. So I maybe have made these a little bit too far apart. Because then normally you'd have a crash barrier in between them and they'll be like next to each other. And so then under here, yes, we'll just make this road go underneath it. Probably will end up changing this at some point just because I want to use one of the factories. I'm not actually sure which factory type that links up to, but we'll probably end up using it. This first time I actually put the wrong type of road in, so that's more of a residential road. So delete that out, replace it, and then smooth it all off. And that actually looks pretty good, I think. What that then means we can do is delete that old road once we've connected it up here. Just kind of make it look a bit smarter with a country road and then onto a kind of residential road. There we go, so then we can delete that road there. Also make this look a little bit nicer. So one thing we obviously haven't done yet is the train. So the idea was on this one was to use the middle track as the kind of train line that's going to go, the main train line that's going to go to the cities. Certainly don't want a crossing, it's a level crossing, so we'll get rid of that. And although on this line to begin with it's not going to have one of the fastest trains, the 180 odd mile an hour train, it's going to have one of the slower ones. I still want the track to try and be 186 mile an hour, or the potential to have a 186 mile an hour train on it. So this is kind of where I end up deleting most of this part, and also where the game was fighting against me. And there you go, pops the roads back in. So once we've done that, we it kind of works nicely. So hopefully then the game won't put them roads back in there. It did kind of had then two halves to the city, so I felt that I needed to join them back up again. So we'll go back for one of my dodgy bridges. There must be a way of trying to get it equal. So we'll just get rid of the horrible bridge. So then I'm gonna do another bridge now. So again, it's gonna be the same as the other one that we did. Probably need to find somebody who's, like I say, made some decent bridges and that I can copy. So I'm not overly pleased with them. Yeah, some of these, so I think that actually worked out quite well on this one. No need for a roundabout. And there we go. So hopefully the city on that one will then build or fill in them gaps between the station. As you'll see on when we get back to the other city, Needham I think it's called, the game actually has started building along them already. I think I may do better on this one. So this one goes for a tunnel. I do find tunnels a little bit easier to do. There we go. Yeah, so as you can see, the game has started to fill in them gaps between the track and the road. So here, I know you don't actually have to put in a road to these, but it always kind of feels a bit awkward them just being stuck out on their own. So I thought I'd put a road to it, and then have each track go the right way. So initially we're only going to have one, kind of these two places hooked up, so I kind of need to be able to make the trains work on both tracks. So that's why I've done that. And it is going to be the main train line that we've got. So then I did have a problem that it was only using one track, and I thought initially it was this station that was causing the issue, but that was actually the right one, and it was actually this one down here. It was going to the wrong terminal, so I just switch that over and then it works perfect. Train I'm going to use is just the, so it's not that one, so that is the carriage that I'm going to use, but it's actually that one. And just enough for 99 or 88 passengers. There we go, looking good. Now, say as you can see there, I've got some of the mods. So it's the sign mod and the cargo mod, I think it is. And here, just kind of tidying up the train and make it a nice bit of a journey between the trees. So we're coming to the end of this episode now. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you like the videos so far and how it's coming along. If you've got any suggestions on what I should do next and in here, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try and do a few more Transport Fever videos. I'm actually quite enjoying playing the game at the minute. So yeah, and we'll just let this video finish and we'll see you next time.